Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a hump day edition of the JP Peterson Show. But that was smooth, wasn't it? It's kind of where this morning is going, no question about it. Welcome into the show. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. It is a momentous day in Tampa Bay for so many reasons. We got a lot of bucs to talk about. The Falcons have made a major move, benching Kirk Cousins. The Bolts last night were cruising to a 4-0 victory as we celebrated Vassie's 500th game, and yikes! Something happened on the way to the shutout that wasn't very good, so we'll get to that. But mostly it's about the Rays and the stadium debacle and the stadium saga that continues to drag on and on and on. Chris Latvala will join us, Commissioner of Pinellas County, who has been in the crosshairs of the Rays for quite some time, to be the fall guy for what everyone is now realizing is their problems and why they don't want to build a stadium, and that this has been a real estate deal the whole time. That's what we've been telling you for months and months and months, that the St. Pete deal would never go through, and here we are. So good morning to you, Tim Ham, who must be – you haven't even been dealing with it for 20 years like we have.
No.
And you still have stadium fatigue. You still have to.
So, here in Texas, when we want to build a stadium, we just sign some papers and go build it. We don't have all this rigmarole that you guys have. So I can't even – I've been doing this show with you for a little over a year, and I've been here – all I've been hearing is stadium talk and I have tired head so much every morning.
I apologize, but it's such a huge story.
No, it is, for sure.
And it's great to get your fresh perspective, especially coming from a place that has built more baseball stadiums while we've been alive. Then we can't get one done. And everybody, have always pointed fingers at every place else. And I've always said, no, the problem is Stu Sternberg. And I think everyone now is realizing this. And it's not about me being right. It's not about that. No. It's about illumination, that people are finally throwing away the false narratives that have been promulgated in our mainstream media for so long, and are finally starting to realize that Stu is the problem, and he has always been the problem. And if it wasn't for a very, very greedy owner, this deal would have been done a long time ago, where the stadium needs to be in Tampa. All these things are so ridiculously evident and common sense, but the water has been muddied for so long. But I think Chris Latvala put it so well yesterday in his soliloquy at the Pinellas County Commission that will go down in commission history. That, shots fired doesn't do it enough justice, and I can't wait to talk to him at 10:15 live here to kind of go through what is next, what happened yesterday, and illuminate a little bit more on his conversation with Rob Manfred, which I think is the key to this whole deal. And what he said yesterday, and we're going to play it right now for you in case you missed it.
It's pretty good.
Listen, county commission meetings, city council meetings, they're boring. They're horribly boring. Someone actually did a poem yesterday at the podium. I think I didn't see it. Oh, no. But this was, without a doubt, the best moment in county commission history.
Have you heard this? Better than any wrestling show. If y'all watch wrestling, this is better than wrestling. All right, this is no holds barred right here.
So, if there was a wrestling analogy here, I'm not a wrestling fan, but you guys in the comments are, pick a moment in wrestling SmackDown history that reminds you of what Chris Latvala did to Stu Sternberg yesterday. Because when I heard it, I was just like, and for me, it is somewhat vindication that there is somebody with legislative weight that has been elected by the people that now shares with you people the same things I've been telling you for so long about this situation, and how Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, now understands what he's dealing with and now wants new ownership. And there is a groundswell in Tampa and a group in Tampa that is interested in buying the Rays and building in Tampa. If you can't see this subtext, and people are still calling me crazy, Taylor, you know who you are, Knowles fan, love you. I'm not living in a fantasy world. I'm living in a very real world where a stadium is finally built in Tampa. There's too much at stake. I know people are tired of it, but this is the 12th largest market with the 18th largest market down the road, or 11th, whatever you want to call it. It's 2 top 20 markets. Major League Baseball is not leaving this market. But I got to tell you this, they're not building in St. Pete, in my opinion. The bond approval yesterday does not mean this deal is going through, because this is what the Rays, the most tone-deaf organization in the history of sports, said after they approved the bonds, after the city and the county said, we're going to give you $1.7 billion in public money. That's the real cost. When you add in the tax savings, real estate tax savings, the infrastructure, and the debt service, public money, it's at least $1.7 billion. That's not enough. The infrastructure, $141 billion. That's not enough. Not $1 million. It's not enough. The $600 to $800 million profit on the real estate. No. It's not enough. The Rays. That's not enough. This is what they wrote. It was unsurprising to see the commissioners acknowledge how important the Tampa Bay Rays and our stadium development agreement are to this community and its citizens. As we have made clear, the county's delay has caused the ballpark completion to slide into 2029. As a result, the cost of the project has increased significantly, and we cannot absorb this increase alone. When the county and city wish to engage, we remain ready to solve this funding gap together. Yes, that's not enough. We need more. $2.5 billion. It's not enough. We need more. Give us more money. It's not enough.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And I love it. We're ready. We're ready to solve this funding gap together. And let me just, it's not a funding gap. It's a cost overrun that you agreed to pay. It's not a funding gap. I don't ever want to see those words printed outside of a letter that you write, because that's not what it is. It's not a funding gap. It's a cost overrun that you were supposed to pay and you agreed to because you were given so damn much in this boondoggle. The biggest boondoggle in history. And for Stu Sternberg and the Rays, it's still not enough. We need more. What an embarrassment to Major League Baseball.
Funding gap sounds so much more politically correct than cost overrun, right? And it's not our fault. If it's a funding gap, it's not our fault.
No. And here, prove that you've spent the $50 million that you say you spent. Oh, we don't have any documentation to prove that. Oops. And we're not coming to the meeting to prove it either. Oh, okay, great. Prove that you've met all the requirements that you're supposed to. No, we don't have any documents for that either.
Yeah, we don't want to.
I mean, it's just it's laughable. It's laughable. Okay, let's stop bearing the lead. Let's get to the money. Let's play the greatest comment soliloquy in the history of the Pinellas County Commission, courtesy of Commissioner Chris Latvala. You are at the plate, my friend. Here comes a fastball from Esteban Gon, and watch him just hit this one 500 feet.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Hang on. Got to move my sound. Hang on.
Oh, with that great intro, too.
Last week, I spoke to MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred, who expressed the importance of passing these bonds to keeping the Rays in Tampa Bay. While I do not trust the owner of the Rays, I trust Mr. Manfred. He is committed to this market. I view him as an ally when the owner of this franchise has, for some reason, decided to become an adversary. Rob Manfred is the reason I am voting yes on this today. MLB is aware of several instances where the Rays organization has intentionally tried to kill the very deal that they agreed to. I hope our vote today helps set the wheels in motion for a new owner and a new era of Tampa Bay Rays baseball. Rays fans deserve to have our own Vinnick, Steinbrenner, Glazer, or Middleton, who cares as much about the fans and community as his own bottom line. I believe Commissioner Manfred's eyes are now wide open to the reality of our penny pinching double dealing ownership. He's watched one of his franchises use two devastating disasters and a few days delay in the bond vote to try to gain an advantage for themselves. He's seen them try to torpedo their own deal by calling one of our colleagues who supported this deal a liar after he asked them to try to make a simple public pronouncement of support. He's heard them publicly call this deal dead numerous times. Mr. Manfred and MLB need to keep watching and listening, because once these bonds are passed, Stu Sternberg will demand even more money, and when he doesn't get it, he will threaten to move the team again. Most importantly, Mr. Manfred and the 29 other owners of Major League Baseball teams should see clearly now that our fans and residents deserve a new owner for our beloved team. I think it is very possible that Stu Sternberg will try to keep the land development deal and use the hundreds of millions of dollars that he will receive from that to move the Rays out of this market if we do not pass the bonds. The land deal was one of the reasons why I voted no in the first place, but I will not allow the owner of the Rays to reap the profits of that land deal while the Rays are not even playing in Tampa Bay. Because at the end of the day, Stu Sternberg will always care about his bottom line above all else. That is proven over the years. Now that this process has exposed him, I urge Mr. Sternberg to sell the team to someone who lives here, works here, and truly cares about our community. An owner who won't threaten to take his bats and balls or change the rules when the game he agreed to play isn't going his way. Stu, you are up.
Stu, you're up. You're up. Yeah, and then the letter followed that that they want more money, and they're ready and waiting to do a new deal. They're ready and waiting to do a new deal. It's absolutely laughable. If it wasn't so sad, because Stu Sternberg has wasted the time of the Tampa Sports Authority, the fans in Tampa, going back to 2018, 2019. And I have railed for so long about the false narratives that he has put out about not having corporate support in Tampa. That was the bold-faced lie. Not that there's no money in Tampa. That is a lie as well. We saw in the deal that they were going behind St. Pete's back while they were doing the deal with them. They were listening to another pitch from Tampa. We told you about this months ago in July. And in that deal, something that was revealed was part of that funding element gave $30 million per year towards building the stadium. That's $900 million over the life of the stadium. There's money to be built to build a stadium over there, but it's a pay-as-you-go and protects the taxpayers and is a true public-private partnership, not like this boondoggle that they tried to put through in St. Pete and over Pinellas County. And this finally, at least now we've come to the point there where the county is protected and the city is protected from the Rays stealing this land and stealing those profits to go maybe build a stadium in Tampa. As much as I want a stadium in Tampa, because I think it's best for the Rays, not best for Tampa, but best for the area, best for the long-term growth and Rays fans, I would never want that stadium built with money from St. Petersburg. That was nefariously taken from them. And I dare say Ken Hagan and no one in Hillsborough County Commission would do a deal with Stu under those circumstances. Nobody would. And that's the right thing to do. And hopefully new ownership solves all this. So let's bring in the man who wrote that and delivered that so well, that grand slam home run yesterday at the County Commission. Chris Latvala. Chris, thank you for taking the time to come on the show here. First of all, I know you've been through a lot, the death threats and all this. And I think as of yesterday, I think people saw your true heart and what you were trying to do. And you voted yes, and the bonds are issued. And in the end, you guys, with your due diligence of your commission, and I think the whole entire commission did a fantastic job through this whole deal. You did the right thing, and I think it's the ball is in his court now, and we'll see where it goes. What's been the reaction from yesterday's vote?
Good morning, JP. I mean, I think overall it's been a pretty good reaction. people seem to understand what we were getting at. And it's not just about calling bluffs but it's about really protecting Major League Baseball in Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And that's where I was coming from, with what the speech that I gave and the questions I asked and the reason why I voted the way that I did.
It seems to me in your conversation with Commissioner Manfred that he's upset with what the Rays have done and how they've handled this. Is that what can you tell us about that?
I mean, I don't want to get too much into detail about what all he said.
I understand.
I can tell you that he was very emphatic with his commitment to keeping Major League Baseball in Tampa Bay. He was unwavering in his support. He also was unwavering in his support of passing the bonds with the goal of keeping baseball in Tampa Bay. And that was something that we talked about. And he had some questions, or he answered some questions I had, and our county administrator has also talked to him a couple times throughout this process and has relayed some questions I had, and the commissioner of baseball has been very helpful in this process, and he's the reason I voted the way that I did, because while I do not trust Stu Sternberg, I trust Rob Manfred and I trust the other 29 owners of major league teams not to screw over Tampa Bay.
Do you get a sense that this deal now is going to go through? I don't, because I know the county's not giving any more money. Yeah. And I know the city's not giving any more money. And there is a quote funding gap, which I think is the most ridiculous thing ever. It's called a cost overrun. What do you think?
So it did not surprise me that the Rays asked for more money. It did surprise me that they asked for more money 10 minutes after the vote. And so, and it kind of proved the whole point that we were making.
Yeah.
And, if not to be rude, because I will never have the money that Stu Sternberg has.
Right.
But if you cannot afford a Major League Baseball team, you need to sell it. And, and do us all a favor, make your, $200 billion and go about, your life and be a rich man. But, if you can't fill a gap that you said that you were going to fill, and part of the Rays agreeing to fill the cost overruns was part of the agreement that they made with the land development deal. So they basically want to have it their whole, have the whole thing.
Right.
And that's why my comments were directed yesterday to Rob Manfred, to the other owners, because I want them to see that, okay, if this guy cannot make this deal work, he's never going to make any deal work.
Exactly.
And the fans and the residents need to have somebody else to own our team, because it's not, the issues are not because of fan apathy. Some of the issues are with ownership. And, and I think I said it last time I was on your show, the baseball people with the Rays are brilliant people.
Yep.
They have a competitive team, and they do a great job in that regard. But the penny pinching, the nickel and diming on the stadium deal, not being able to get a deal done in Tampa, not being able to get a deal done in Pinellas. If he can't make a deal work now, he's never going to make a deal work.
Right.
So,
do you think that he ever wanted to build this stadium or intended to build this stadium?
I think
just about the land deal. That's what I think. Yeah. I don't think he ever intended to.
And I've thought about this a lot, and I don't trust the Rays. And I like Brian Auld and Matt Silverman.
As do I. No.
And I think those guys, and those were the folks that I dealt with a lot. I've actually only met Stu twice. I've actually met Jeff Vinnick more than that, and he, was in Hillsborough County.
Yeah.
Um, and but it got to a point where I quit trusting the race. But I think there was one moment during this whole process that they were being honest. And it was something that you hit on, and you were one of the very few people that hit on it and noticed it. And that was the conversation that Brian Auld had with Brian Scott the day before the very first delay that we had. And I didn't know about that conversation then because of the Sunshine Law. Right. But at the next meeting, when Brian Scott mentioned that, started talking about that phone call, I was sitting across the room from Brian Auld. So I looked at it. I was able to see his face. And I could tell that he was not happy. And I knew that was that phone call was a moment of sincerity. And they were being honest that their funds and their finances had gone in a completely opposite direction and their expenses had gone up. I think part of it was the hurricane, but I think part of it was just general, expenses with construction, general, budgetary issues. And so I think it, they probably at some point would have said, we can't afford this, we need help. But I think the hurricanes certainly didn't help. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be losing money playing in Tampa. I think for years they've made money year over year. This year they won't. Most franchises lose money, especially the large market teams lose money every year. But, I think that was a moment that they were being sincere. So then it got to a point where, okay, these folks can't make this work. So now we need to do something to try to protect baseball in Tampa Bay. And, I told you last time I was on that I was a huge baseball fan, and I was never going to allow them to try to leave.
So at this point, you talked a lot about new ownership, and I got a sense that Rob Manfred is looking for new ownership. That's my sense. I know there's a group in Tampa that's trying to, and there have been several groups here locally that have tried to buy the Rays over the last couple of years. What is your sense for the appetite for Major League Baseball because look, there's a precedent here. Major League Baseball told Vince Naimoli he needs to sell the team and was forced to sell the team. And I think there's a lot of inertia here from the fans, and I think from other owners that would like to see a deal done here. And I think they finally realized that Stu has been the impediment. Do you think that new ownership is something that could happen soon?
Yeah, I mean, and I've heard some of the same things you have, and not necessarily from Major League Baseball, just people locally. Mm-hmm. And it was close. There was close, to a deal a year or so ago, and surprisingly, Stu wanted more money, and that killed the deal. And I've heard, groups in Tampa, probably the same folks that you've heard. Yes. And I've heard, groups, in Pinellas, but the important thing is that it's Tampa Bay people, and if we, Jeff Vinnick is one of the greatest owners that we've ever had in Tampa Bay. He was not a Tampa Bay guy, but he understood, the community aspect, and he's going to go down in history. As one of the greatest, not just business people in Tampa Bay, but the greatest, sports owners in Tampa Bay.
100%. Yeah. And I love that you mentioned him yesterday, and we need someone like that. And I think there are people that can step up and do that. And you mentioned this last time you were on that you want baseball in Tampa Bay, and you're quite fine if it does happen in Tampa. Obviously Pinellas residents would love to have it, but not at the cost of this deal. And I think that's kind of the lesson we're taking out right now. Correct?
Yeah. I mean, I love Pinellas County. I love Clearwater. That's not a secret. If I was the owner of the team and I had Steve Cohen money or, George Steinbrenner money, whatever, and I own the Tampa Bay Rays and I could pick where in Tampa Bay I own the team, it would be a whole lot closer to Tampa than it is now. Right. Because you need to be able to attract a larger population base. And whether that's in Tampa or whether that's, right on the other side of the bridge in Pinellas, I'm not sure, but it definitely needs to be in a larger population base, because that's part of the problem. And as I said last time I was on, for years, the current ownership of the Rays complained about the location and talked about how fish don't go to baseball games, and they couldn't draw fans, they couldn't draw the corporate sponsorship. I'm at the point now where I'm not sure that the corporate sponsorship really is the issue that they think it is. I think part of the issue is the ownership.
Yes.
Because I'm not sure how respected they are with the business community.
You said that Manfred's eyes are wide open to the penny pinching owner, which is absolutely fantastic. Is there a sense that baseball, you think Manfred and these other owners are tired of what Stu's been doing? Are they embarrassed by the way he's handled this situation? The letter to the county right after the hurricanes, when you dared delay by a few days a vote where the deadline wasn't until March anyway.
So I can tell you that Major League Baseball is aware of all the correspondence that they gave. They're aware of the Rays going to a city council meeting in St. Pete and saying, do not repair the trop. We don't want you to repair the trop. Major League Baseball, and I'm sure you know this, one of their requirements or like policies of a Major League Baseball team is you have to give Major League Baseball an approved plan to play in a Major League Baseball park. So if you're a baseball owner, you can't tell them, hey, I'm going to go play in this high school field, or I'm going to go play in this minor league ballpark in town. You have to play in a major league ballpark. So you can't just, have your own plan or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you do things in a government meeting, that's different than going to the media and trying to, gain leverage or gain public support for something. And so, the Major League Baseball is aware of those instances, and I'm not going to speak on their behalf about that, but one of the concerns was if the bonds don't pass, it gives the current owner the ability to go to owners meetings and complain about the local government. Say Pinellas County and the city's not cooperating. I don't have a place to play,
right?
And kind of play the victim card.
Right.
Well, if this current deal doesn't go through, and it's because he doesn't have the money,
it's on him.
It's going to be very hard for him to go to an owners meeting and say, they gave me $700 million. They gave me a massive development plan that I wanted. A hurricane hit, and they won't give me a couple $100 million for the cost overruns, even though I already agreed to it.
Right.
Like, that's going to be a hard thing for him to sell to his colleagues.
Is there any proof that they spent the $50 million that they said they did? Yeah. You guys asked for proof.
And so that's the other thing about them, kind of just doing their own thing. So they said they spent $50 million. And so we asked last week, or I asked last week for evidence of that. And they sent us expenditures on Monday of $11 million. So they're a few starting pitchers short of their $50 million.
Well, they saved all that money on Spring's contract. You think they'd have a little bit more, right? Where the payroll's down to $60 million. How much lower is it going? Are we going to get? Is there any hitters involved in this?
Yeah.
Are we getting some of that money into hitters?
To give them credit, they did look into Juan Soto. So
I'm sure they did. Yeah. What does that mean? They turned on SportsCenter, see what the number was? Is that what looking into it means?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't provide that. And by the way, all of their arguments are based on these cost overruns. Have they provided any proof that there are cost overruns?
Right.
Or have they looked into a crystal ball and said, concrete's going up, labor's going up, and that can happen. It could also go the other way. It could also go the other way. So,
I talked we have a stadium consultant who represents the county, who was at our meeting yesterday, and he has worked in his career doing like 25 different stadium deals around the country, all different major sports. And one of the questions I asked him during the meeting yesterday is, based on your experience, does a 30 or 60-day delay result in a couple $100 million in cost overruns? And he said no. He chuckled and said no. And I said, what would be the result of that? Well, budgeting, construction, inflation, all different kinds of things. But if you're looking at a project that's, over $1 billion, that's not unexpected.
Right.
I mean, it's not
completely expected. It happens all the time.
Right. And so if they weren't planning on that, then, that says something. And so then you go back. It says
they were never planning to build a stadium, to me.
Right.
Is what it
so
says.
then you go back to, okay, why weren't you planning on that? And if their excuse is, well, we didn't know we were going to be losing the trop, and, now we're playing elsewhere, it shows they didn't have the money to begin with, because they're just basically, the money comes in, the money goes out, and,
and they wanted that big upfront money from you guys. And that's the way the deal was.
They were planning on making their $50 million this year, whatever they make every year, based on the revenue sharing and based on their TV contract. And if that money didn't happen this year, then they're screwed and they don't have that. Well, if that's the case, you should not be a Major League Baseball owner.
Right. Exactly. And let's not, and all the money they've made, where'd that money go?
Right.
What about the $500 million that was put into a separate company, according to the lawsuit and the partners? Where'd that money go? That upfront money that he got from the TV contract, where'd that money go? They got plenty of money. They got plenty of money, and they've made plenty of money. All right, last question, Chris. Just as you sit here today, do you think this deal ever gets done in St. Pete? Is there going to be a renegotiation? How do you see this happening?
I mean, as for a renegotiation, no. As for the county, no. I don't see a single one of my colleagues voting to give them another penny. And if there's one, there won't be two, but I can't name a single one of my colleagues, even the ones that were staunchly supportive at the very beginning. I do not see them voting to give them another penny. I don't want to speak for the city, but Mayor Welch has publicly said he's not giving them another penny. And for the Rays to ask a city who just had the same hurricane that went through the trop to ask them to pony up more money is incomprehensible.
It is.
Because the city is not using bed taxes. They're using completely different revenue streams than the county is. And that is just to ask the St. Pete residents, for the Rays to ask the St. Pete residents, that is just absolutely unconscionable.
Yep.
And Stu Sternberg, for no other reason, should be ashamed to do that right after a hurricane. And I mean, he should just do us all a favor and sell the team and move on down the road.
I agree. 100% been with it. So I'm going to say that's a no. You don't think this deal's getting that's a no.
No, I mean, and so that's really why I said that it was about Tampa Bay. And keeping baseball in Tampa Bay. I can tell you with near certainty that I believe baseball stays in Tampa Bay. I can't give you with near certainty that it's going to be at the gas plant district or in Pinellas County or anything like that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, Chris, again, thank you for your courage on this. I think those of you who have tried to vilify you, and that's specifically the Rays and the Tampa Bay Times, shameful that you would get death threats for this, because I think everybody knows now it's come full circle and they know where the blame lies. Hopefully, it should be evident to everyone now. And I appreciate your passion for baseball. So what did you think of the Springs salary dump? The fact we might be done, we're not going to add any hitters here besides.
Yeah, I mean, if Jansen's their big offseason offensive move might be a rough year offensively. Yeah. I love the starting rotation.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
so, and they had excess pitchers in the starting rotation. So I think it's fine, to trade a pitcher. I'm a little concerned that Yandy might be on the trading block.
Well, if you trade Jeffrey Springs, get me a hitter back. But
Right,
you can't do that
right,
because to get a
right.
bona fide hitter,
Right.
you have to add salary. And Eric Neander's got both hands and his feet tied behind his back.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to do that.
And I think Eric Neander's brilliant. And
I do too.
With the stadium that they're going to be playing in, if they could load up with some lefties with some pop,
Yes.
they can do some damage.
Yeah, especially with this pitching staff. All right, Chris, thanks again for your courage. I appreciate it. And we'll talk soon. Thanks.
All right, man. See ya.
Chris Latvala right there.
Go Bucs.
Yeah, go Bucs too. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Tim? What do you think? Mr. I got more baseball stadiums than I need.
You know what Chris, okay, first of all, Chris, this is the second time we've had him on. And I just kind of back up and get out of the way when you have him on because I don't want to. I'll just probably interject something stupid. So I just let it go, right? But Chris is a brilliant dude. And he's first of all, he is an asset to Pinellas County and the commissioner's office there in the office. And you guys, they're lucky to have him. But it seems like it's just such an uphill battle. And he put it so eloquently in the meeting, in his speech at the meeting that we had before he was on, about how he doesn't trust the owner. And the only reason he voted for the deal was because of Rob Manfred's, promise to the area, or his what's the word I'm looking for? Commitment to Tampa Bay and the area,
which we've always told you.
There.
Yeah, we've always told you that. Yeah.
But it's funny that while I was listening to that too, I was thinking about, here again, I was kind of going back to our deals that we've had here. And then I thought about the Astros in Houston, and I'm like, do we realize that both major league teams in the state of Texas have relatively new retractable roof stadiums, Minute Maid Park or whatever it's going to be called now. And of course, Globe Life in Arlington. And they still have their old ballparks right next door to the new stadium. Still, like, the Astrodome is still there. It's empty and vacant, but it's still there.
Yeah.
And we still have the ballpark in Arlington and Cowboy Stadium, like in the triangle right there. But it should not be this hard to get a stadium done deal for a beloved, asset to your community like the Rays are. And people, I get, they call it a lack of support for the team. Yeah. It's not a lack of support for the team. It's an inability to support the team physically because of where the stadium is and their inability to be able to get there on a regular basis when there are games. And I thought Chris made a really good point. And I don't remember if it was in the meeting thing we played, the recording that we played, or if it was just now, but he said something about it's not necessarily a lack of support for the Rays. It's a lack of support for their owner.
That's right. That's right.
And you know what? We've been calling for that here in Dallas for 30 years, for people to boycott Jerry Jones and to hate the Cowboys because of Jerry Jones. Quit going to the games and quit buying his merchandise, and he'll feel it. That's the only way you can make change, right? Well, in Tampa, they're doing that with the Rays because they don't like Stu, and he is not good for the community.
No.
And people are figuring that out. The county's figured it out. The city's figured it out. And
now Major League Baseball has figured it out.
And now Major League Baseball is figuring it out. And the sooner he is gone, I don't mean the Rays. I mean Stu. Sooner he is gone, then Rob Manfred could move forward, I think, with baseball back in Tampa Bay in the area in a suitable location for the entire community, in a suitable location, in a stadium that's good for the community, that doesn't screw anybody. It is. I know Tampa, you guys think it's not possible, but trust me, it is. It happens possible. Everywhere else.
I know. Yeah. I'm just going to do one little close on this to kind of incorporate all that has gone on for 20 years on this, if I can, because we're at that point. And I've taken a lot of heat, and Chris Latvala has taken a lot of heat. Anybody that is opposed Stu Sternberg has taken a lot of heat. He's got a lot of political allies in the media. He owns a lot of the media in terms of sponsorship deals. I personally have taken, my personal life has taken a hit because of my opposition to Stu Sternberg. And this has never been personal for me with Stu Sternberg, even though he's made it personal to me. And my feelings and my love for Tampa Bay have always been what this is about for me. And people are like, oh, JP, you want the stadium in Tampa. Listen, I lived in St. Pete when I first moved here. I worked in St. Pete. I love St. Pete. I love downtown St. Pete. I love the beaches. I love St. Pete. I love the Tampa Bay area. It is my home and has been for 27 years. My business is here.
Right.
Full disclosure, I'm temporarily living out of the market, but moving back soon. But my work is here. I'm here all the time. I love baseball, and I love the people of this city that love baseball, and the Jason Romanos and the Fred McGriffs and the Tino Martinez's, all these people that love baseball, and the fans and the little leagues that my kids played in, Bayshore Little League and Palmacia. I mean, I know the fabric of this Tampa Bay area and how much we love baseball, and it makes me so angry that one man, the way he has run this team, has screwed it all up for all of us. And that's my problem with the whole thing. It's not personal. It's about how he's run the team.
Right.
And how he has screwed over the city of St. Petersburg for so long. Because I've talked to these mayors. Bill Foster wrote a big thing on Facebook yesterday about how he knew all about dealing with Stu Sternberg and Rick Kreisman and all the mayors that have dealt with him and the folks in Tampa, the TSA, and everybody. I know all these people, and they all say the same things. It's about Stu. He's never wanted to get a deal done unless he gets everything, and I mean everything. Look at what St. Pete has given them, and it's still not enough. This is not about our passion for baseball. It's not about we're bad fans. It's not about if Florida doesn't support. It's about one guy who has done everything he can to alienate the fan base, cheap out on payrolls, keep this team where in a mausoleum that nobody wants to go to, that's inaccessible for a major majority. And there was plenty of answers and plenty of corporate money and plenty of passion to do this right. And we got a second chance to can this deal because why? He was so greedy, he wouldn't even agree to this. And now finally, Major League Baseball, they've been embarrassed enough of the banners for Montreal at a freaking playoff series. Are you kidding me? Constantly blaming the fans for low payrolls while he stuffs his pockets. Constantly blaming the fans for everything. And I love Tampa Bay, and I want this done right so we have, for generations to come, we truly can have a baseball stadium and can go where the masses can congregate and love baseball. And we're going to get a taste of that at Steinbrenner Field this year. Hell, it takes the Yankees to give us a stadium where we can show the people of Tampa Bay and the world that we love baseball, and we're going to fill that sucker. And it pains me that money's going to go into his pocket, but whatever. Let's show up and show the world how much we love baseball. And hopefully Rob Manfred, and I think this is happening finally, will force him out, let him take, as Chris said, take the $2 billion in profit, get a local ownership group that's going to do it right. And the city of St. Pete, it can build on that beautiful piece of land and make it a much better place to live with something you actually need. Not a baseball stadium. Most of the people in St. Pete don't want it anyway, and they certainly don't want to pay for it, and they shouldn't have to, especially after these hurricanes. St. Pete is the place for our beaches and a beautiful, eclectic downtown. Build more local restaurants, not chains, but local restaurants. Build a hotel and an entertainment district and an arts district that you can be proud of and you love and that you're going to make money on, not giving it to a billionaire who hates your city and has never supported it. That's what you should do. And we'll come over there. We love going to downtown St. Pete if we're in Hillsborough. It's a beautiful downtown, great music scene, great food. We love the beaches. That's what you are. You're our beaches. And you're our great downtown and all the stuff that goes on up in Ellis. That's your job. Our job is to have stadiums and airports and have the hub of the business. That's the job of Tampa. And the outlying areas of the beautiful areas of Tampa Bay and the waters and the fishing and everything that makes it, it all comes together as one, and we're together. Unity in the community, as Chris Thomas used to say. That's what this should be about, not Tampa versus St. Pete and we get the Rays and you get – no, it's not how it works. You're the beaches. You're the beautiful arts and community. We have all the dirty stuff over here, the port and all that and the airport. We do that. That's fine. Yeah, we got to cross bridges. That's no big deal. It's never been about that. It's just let's do it right. Let's do it right. And get a local ownership that truly loves Tampa Bay, and it would do anything to make it work. To make it work, that's how it gets done. You got to have people that want to make it work, not whose sole goal is to suck every penny out of the city they can possibly find. And hopefully, we're at the cusp of making that happen. Rob Manfred, you know what to do. This is in your court. Commish, it's in your court. You see it. You know it now. There's people with money that want to buy the team. There's a way to get the stadium done in Tampa. Ken Hagan's all over that. And to protect the taxpayers and to pay as you go, and everybody benefits. That's where I'm at. It's where I've always been at. It's not personal. It's about my love for baseball in Tampa Bay and Rays fans in general.
Well, and what I don't understand is we have a model for this.
Yeah.
We have dozens of models for this that are successful, that prove that it can work, right? When the ownership and the county, the city, everybody works together towards that one common goal.
Yes.
Right? We have Atlanta, we have Dallas, Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, St. Louis,
Denver,
San
Washington,
Francisco,
DC.
Denver. They've all done this, and it works. And for the fact that Stu wants to reinvent the wheel to benefit himself, to fill his pockets, that should tell you something. That should tell Major League Baseball something right there, that his inability to go with what's already proven to work because it doesn't suit his wants, and it doesn't fill his pockets enough. Like, it will fill his pockets doing it the right way, but not enough to suit him because he wants more. That, to me, that should tell everyone what you need to know about Stu Sternberg. Come at me, Stu. I'm in Texas. Do your work.
You might just. And it's just should tell everyone everything they need to know about him as a businessman, as a business leader, and maybe even as a human being. Sorry. It is that time of year where the Grinch heart grows.
Oh, he's on the naughty list. I will tell you this right now.
Remember that at the end of the Grinch, right? Where the heart, that was 20 sizes too small, suddenly fills and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Actually, we don't want that to happen. We just want the Grinch to move out of town.
Yeah, just move out of town. That's all we want.
Santa Claus come
bad to happen to you.
But anyway, I hope he has a transformation for that. All right. We've gone too long here, but it's obviously the most important topic, and boy, the drama is just so good. It's so good. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We got Bucks to talk about. We got Bolts to talk about. We got college football and bowl games and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. We are brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. We are in the Jeeves Law Group studio as we speak in beautiful South Tampa. And if you have any legal questions whatsoever, they will give you a free case evaluation. How about that? Free case evaluation. Just contact them through the website. Tell them JP sent you. And obviously, if you're in an accident, you want them representing you. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Have them get a big award for you. Scott Jeeves is a terrific award-winning attorney that will fight hard for you. Trust me, when he fights, he fights. Back in 3. Stay with us. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of five-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Brought to you by the great friends of Italiano Insurance. Over 60 years doing business here locally. It's that time of year for your insurance checkup. It's pretty easy. Just call them 813-877-7799 and tell them you want an insurance checkup. Run your house insurance, your homeowner's insurance, your flood insurance. Make sure you have the flood insurance, folks, even if you're not in a flood area. You know what that's all about. Your business insurance as well. If you don't have business insurance and you started a side hustle and you're making some money, you got to have business insurance as well. You could get sued and lose all your personal wealth. Let them check it all out. Your auto insurance, save you thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars. They do it all the time. They do all the work. You save all the money. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. All right, let's talk some football, my friend.
Real quick, did you hear the news coming out of Norfolk State this morning?
Powerful Norfolk State? No.
The football powerhouse known as Norfolk State. Michael Vick has been named the new head coach of Norfolk.
He's from Norfolk.
Yeah. Of course, played at Virginia Tech.
So they're going the Dion route.
I guess so. And, you know, we've had some discussions with Mike. He's a friend of the network and a good friend of Johnny Garber's. And there was a very good dude. There was no indication of this anywhere on the radar before this was announced. So best of luck to Mike at Norfolk State. I'll be following for sure. I'd never heard of Norfolk State, but you know what? I might go out and have to buy me a hat now.
You know, I think it's interesting. I think it speaks to a bigger movement in college football that now it's more about the charisma of the head coach. It always has been in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
To attract NIL dollars, to attract obviously players, recruit players who these are their heroes, and hey, let's go play for a hero. And you hire assistant coaches, you hire recruiters. I mean, Bill Belichick is kind of a little different approach than maybe Mike Vick and Deion Sanders, but he's a celebrity. He's a big name coming in to run a program. Now, obviously Deion has made it work, and I think he's unique in a lot of the things that he's done. First of all, he did his apprentice work at Jackson State, which I think he needed to do, was wildly successful, and moved it to Colorado. And I won't say it's wildly successful, but I think taking them to 9 wins they finished with, right, in the bowl game, and winning a Heisman Trophy for Travis Hunter, all the attention that they got. I mean, that place is selling out. They've built more premium seating. I mean, it's bananas what's going on in Boulder there. So it worked, and other people are following this model. And we'll see if Mike Vick can pull it off.
I don't know if he has aspirations of being a big-time college head coach or a big-time NFL coach or anything like that, but at the very least, he's probably fulfilling a little, a check mark on his bucket list to try to get into coaching a little bit. And I think he'll be good at it. You mentioned the charisma of head coaches. It's always been a thing, but especially in this day of social media, and it takes 5 seconds for a video clip to go from Norfolk, Virginia, all the way to the West Coast, or something.
Yeah.
I think you need that even more than ever before, because before it was more localized. Now it's you're on a national stage, regardless of who you are or what level you coach at. Some things will get out, right? So I think it's good for him, man. I applaud it. And like I said, I'll be following Norfolk State.
Well, before we get into a little bit more college football talk, let's do comments, since there's a lot of comments on the subject matter at hand. And we thank you guys always for jumping in here. We really appreciate it. You're the lifeblood of the show. Obviously, we need viewers, we need listeners, and we need you people to pitch in, and you do a great job of it.
There's no us without you.
That's right. That's right. Easy says the Falcons just got a lot better. I know. I hate it. I don't know about
that.
Okay, well, we'll debate this in a second. I think it's a good move. I think it's bad for the Bucs. I think this gives them a chance because they had no chance with Kurt's guts. Jeff Stutler says, Tim, Texas doesn't have Stu the swindler. Your owners have common sense.
Well,
that's how it gets
maybe
done.
Except for Jerry.
And we are the GMs as well.
That's right.
Daniel Rivera says, I wonder now, JB, if that mystery billionaire you've been referring to that you met back on July 4th, has Manfred spoken with him behind the scenes? I would have to think, yes, he has. My information is that he has. He's very much aware of him and his deep, deep pockets.
It would be good for the Rays.
I'm not saying it's getting done. Stu still has to agree to sell the team, and I'm sure he's going to ask for $3 billion and screw that deal. But I think with Major League Baseball now, they have a lot of power over their owners collectively.
Oh, yeah.
And so they want to make it happen. They can make it happen. But he won't go quietly. Maybe he will now. I think the tide has turned.
He's been exposed a little bit.
I think so, yeah. And it's one thing to have yahoos like me yelling and screaming about it. It's not just Chris Latvala. Every commissioner said the same thing. Every city, even the people that are for the deal at the city commission, even the mayor has said disparaging things about the Rays and how they've handled this and exposed them. So yes, I think yes, he still has a few supporters left in the media, but I think even those folks are starting to open their eyes. Elijah Barrera says the Ray Stadium drama just keeps on getting more weird. Stu should give us the gift at Christmas of selling the team and giving up ownership. Oh, if only. I want that under my tree. So
you know what? Someday there's going to be a 30 for 30 on this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm writing it.
Produced by JP Peterson.
It's already well in the works, partner. I have the treatment already at Netflix. Trust me. Rick says Stu is the embodiment of every ex-wife in history.
Oh, God.
That is such a perfect analogy. Oh, my God. Yes, as soon as you get the agreement done, the attorney sends another letter. We want this too. So we can build some more. Lonnie Wilkins says the quiet part is finally being said out loud in public media. Yes, Lonnie. Yes. Christopher Cole, Stu is trash. Short and to the point. I like it. Do that. Michael LaRue, good morning to you. Cousins has no trade clause. He can force the Falcons to cut him and keep all his guaranteed money and then sign with another team at league minimum like Russell Wilson. Yeah, like Stu's trying to do.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. Madden says, amen, Chris Latvala. Jordan G, what's up, partner? He says, my personal opinion of outcome of this: Rays hold development rights for the Trop land, take the land deal worth hundreds of millions, and develop and build a stadium in Ybor Harbor. Win. I listen. I think that's what they'd want to do, but I'm telling you, the people of Hillsborough County will not, and Major League Baseball will not allow that. They just won't. It's too nefarious. It's too slimy. I just don't think, and it'll be held up in the courts forever. And I think Stu's going to hold up the development of the Trop site forever in court because he doesn't care about the people who need jobs. And that thing should have been developed 5 years ago under Rick Kreisman. He had a great plan. Would have been awesome. And we should have the new stadium in Tampa. It should already be in it years ago. And Jordan continues, both sides, St. Pete, their new overpriced condos and businesses and no ballpark. And Tampa gets a new ballpark and Rays get new ballpark. Who knows, though? Regardless, the Rays are not giving up. I think he's right there. I don't think they're just going to go away. Maybe they will. Major League Baseball might force them to. Stu can't sue the city or county over this, right? Oh, hell no. He can sue. He can sue for anything, right? He can sue a ham sandwich.
Oh, man, now I'm hungry.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think this is going to end up in the courts. Jordan G said the land, and that's their right. Pinellas can feel the Rays slipping to Tampa and will try to block any deal over here, too. St. Pete deserves this treatment for all years. They've never let Tampa negotiate for decades and block this side forever. Congrats, Pinellas. You get what you deserve. I don't like that talk, Jordan. I don't like the Tampa versus St. Pete talk. I've never liked it. I don't support it. I don't agree with it. It's yes. Has there been provincialism on both sides? Yes, there has. It needs to end. That's all I'm going to say about that. Lonnie Wilkins says this organization has been puppet string by Stu in so many ways, spitting in the face of Rays fans for trading fan favorites for nobodies, can't exchange Wander jersey and refusing to go all on. This is a great sports area, and the Rays are the only organization in town who act like St. Pete and Tampa are two entirely separate entities. 100% true. That's absolutely true. All of that, Lonnie, and it just should never have been this way and doesn't have to be this way. Yeezy says, thank you, Chris. I think a lot of people are saying that now. All the people that hated on him and were goaded into him being the problem. And that's one of the, that's another thing. To make him the villain, for the Rays to do that and other media entities to do that, to make him the villain when he was not the villain. And I told you that. And now you see that it's not him. You know, those people, they should apologize. They should apologize. All the people on Twitter who went after him, you all should apologize to him. Maybe he should sue somebody. How does Manfred squeeze out Stu? Everyone is bluffing. High stakes game of chicken. You know, listen, Mike, it's a good question that you ask. How does he do it? I don't know how it's done, but it's been done. It was done to Vince Namoli. The Major League Baseball holds a lot of power over their owners collectively. I mean, obviously the owners run Rob Manfred, but and this is the thing, it's the other owners that are tired of this. They want their expansion money, right? And they can't get their expansion money until Tampa and Oakland get done. Tampa Bay and Oakland get done. And they're tired of it. And now they're understanding it's not the people of Hillsborough County, it's not Pinellas, it's not their government down there, it's the owner. And they can do something about that. They're
tired of it. Yeah, they're tired of it. It's a bad look for the league, too, not just Tampa.
James says, but will the TBT and WDAE continue to cover for Stu? These two media outlets are no better than the legacy media. Anyone who trusts what these hacks say has their head in the sand. Strongly worded. But, yeah, I mean, I've said I think they have created false narratives that have been exposed. Rick says, about time someone in government has the balls to say and do what's needed. Thank you, Rick. Absolutely. That's why I got so excited about what Chris said yesterday. Somebody finally had the balls to stand up to Stu. I appreciate it. Michael Lewis said the Rays lied about the financials. No. Johnny Balsinger says, I sure do wish the big dog could be here for all this. Oh, me too. And Chris Thomas. Hank, I'm telling you. I think they'd be saying a lot of what's being said on this show, to be quite honest with you. They wouldn't be covering for Stu. I can tell you that. Daniel Rivera says, Ybor or the fairgrounds. If DeSantis gets involved with this, then the fairgrounds would make more sense if Hard Rock gets involved. We talked about this. Political allies matter. Yeah. Seminole Indians are allied with who? Ron DeSantis. Sports betting, lots of money, baseball, fairgrounds owned by the state. A lot of synergy there. And the new ownership group may have some alignment with that whole group there. Spin my web. Oh, God. Lord. Yes, Tim, can you convince Jerry Jones to buy the Rays? No, wait, no. Although he would build a stadium. Like, he's great financially. And he would put money into the team.
He would.
You know, he'd have to have a press conference after every game. Does he know there's 162 of them? So, yes, I would like that type of owner, though. You know? Richard Francis, welcome to the show, my friend. JP, you are so right. Sternberg is a spoiled child. Call his bluff. If Nashville and Montreal and Portland want MLB so bad, where is their money? Thank you, Richard. Thank you. All these people. God, that's the false narrative that bugs me the most, I think. Besides the one that the Rays don't make any money. Is, they're just going to move. They're going to move. We're going to lose them. We're going to move. We got to give him everything he wants or he's going to move the Rays. They're not going anywhere. Major League Baseball has told you that. They're not going anywhere. Oh. Daniel Rivera says, would a sale of the Rays get done before opening day? No. This stuff takes time. $1 billion deals. I mean, they could probably have a framework and announce something, but then, you don't want until this I's are dotted and T's are crossed with Stu. You don't want to say anything. Scott Rasnick says MLB needs to make Stu sell the team. Agreed. I think we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Chris McCall says line of Vikings. You're going to have 13 to 14 wins and will be the number 5 seed. One of those two. Sucks for you. I love the NFC South.
Yep.
Did JP just call St. Pete Tampa's beach?
Yes, you did. You said you said you're our beaches is what you said. Cause I giggled too when I heard that. I might make that a drop.
I didn't mean it that way.
You're our beaches. That's a quote. You said you're our beaches.
Oh, but there are beaches. They're not our bitches. There are beaches. And I don't want that. I don't want that connotation. There's that.
It just sounded funny. We knew what you meant. It just sounded funny.
You're right. You're right.
I was going to make it a drop and surprise you.
Yeah. So Stu burned his MLB bridges on years of luxury tax scam. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The owners know all that too. They're not pleased about that. And by the way, so you need to go through that Chris Latvala speech and get me at least 10 drops. A penny pinching owner. I think you know where we're going with this. All that stuff. So please, and we can just play them all the time. James says all Bucs have to do is keep winning because they control their destiny. That's right. Went out and it doesn't matter what Penix does. So true. If DAE continues to massage Stu's, we will have more and more layoffs. Well, I think the fact that they're 19th, 20th in the ratings has a lot to do with the fact that they've abandoned their P1 listeners.
I think I suddenly want them
from a sports standpoint. Yes, they have, and that's why they're down to 3 hosts and 2 local shows.
I think I suddenly want a massage. Okay, got me going a little bit.
All right, thank you for the comments. As we move on to what we were going to talk about, and that's the Falcons. I guess we got to take another break now after we did.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
All right, quick break. Our breaks are not 8 minutes, folks. They're just 2 and change now. We've shortened them up because we love you so much. And we love our advertisers as well. Like the Gold and Diamond Source. It's Christmas time. You going shopping this week? Go to the Gold and Diamond Source. They have a great selection. They have the best prices. 0% financing over 5 years. You can get a $5,000 diamond for just $84 a month, folks. It's easy. Whatever your budget is, head on in there. They've got a great new men's area that has all the baller watches and men's stuff, that you'll really, really like. And, of course, get something for the ladies. Well, if you don't know what to get her, they have everything there. Okay, so go in there to the Gold and Diamond Source. Ask their great staff, hey, I got $100 to spend. I got 200, I got 3,000, whatever it is. And they'll find you some stuff in your price range, and they'll wrap it up nice and cute. You don't have to do the wrapping thing, which we hate so much. They'll wrap it all up for you. It's so easy. And you park right there. You walk right in. None of the mall stuff going on. It's the Gold and Diamond Source. It's so easy, and we want to keep it local over this time. Back in 2 and change. Stay with us. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Hey, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There's been a lot of talk about lab-grown diamonds. Oh, they're just like the real thing. No, they're not. They're not the real thing. They're lab-grown. They're fake. You want to give your honey a fake diamond? Not a good way to start off the relationship, folks. Take my word for it. Get the real thing, and no place better to shop than the Gold and Diamond Source. And remember, if you shop anywhere else, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what you're buying. The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors in our community. You know it's real. It's the only place to shop. And if you're planning to purchase for the holidays, don't forget to take advantage of our layaway offer at the Gold and Diamond Source. You can reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. As always, we offer up to 5 years interest-free financing for just $84 a month when you finance $5,000. It's the only place to shop for the holidays. It's the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show as we go along with Wednesday. Very popular. We're already getting a lot of hits in the local media. Aaron Parsegian over at Channel 10, who's done a great job covering this, I think, and Evan Klosky, who will join us on Friday, done a great job covering this, and really appreciate them supporting the show and supporting the truth out there, and that's much needed in the local media. And our big thanks to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Third Generation Plumbing, they do AC, they do plumbing, do all kinds of work around the house. So if you need some work done from the hurricane as well, they can do that. Great folks over there. John Rodriguez and the family have been in Tampa Bay since the 40s. This business has been in business since the 90s. And if it ain't right, he'll make it right. They are a very honest group, and they get great reviews. Go see their 5-star reviews at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. You can reach them through there. All right, so Kirk Cousins benched. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. I didn't necessarily think Raheem had the stones to do it because of the contract situation, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean, it takes a lot from ownership and from the front office to make such a huge move and admit such a horrible mistake. And obviously, I'm sure Raheem was all in on this. If I'm not sure if he was ever in on the Cousins part of it.
Right.
And it was a disaster from the beginning. We said it, and this is where they are. Unfortunately, they came to their senses too early. If you're a Bucs fan, because I think Michael Penix is going to make a huge difference for them. And I could see them going on the run. But as James pointed out, it doesn't matter now because the Bucs beat the Chargers and they have their destiny in their hands. And if they win these last 3 games, it doesn't matter what Michael Penix does. It's too little, too late. And wouldn't that suck for Atlanta? How about if Michael Penix just starts rolling, throwing, 4 touchdowns every game? They win their last 3 games and they're out.
I still don't think that's bad. I mean, for the for the Falcons. And look, I have a theory on Kirk Cousins, by the way.
Okay.
We predicted it on the show, as many did, about him
Mhm.
coming back from the Achilles at his age. And people, I think, underestimate not just the recovery, all right, to be able to play football again after coming back from that. And I think we're seeing much of the same with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Even when you come back and you are cleared to play, you're not the same thrower of the ball.
Nope.
Because there is a lot of it's mental, not even physical sometimes. But you feel the need to kind of compensate for that injury a little bit. Your throwing motion is different, whether you think it is or not. It's always different. And Kirk Cousins, if you look at film of him throwing the ball last year with the Vikings, or even when he was in Washington, and then you look at film of him throwing the ball this year, his throwing motion is completely different. He is not using nearly as much lower body when he is throwing the ball this year, because kind of he's got that mental block that he's a little bit afraid of the injury. So, dude, his arm is completely dead.
Yeah.
He has nothing left. His inability to use his lower body through now 13 games, 14
Where
games.
you get all the power from?
Yeah, he has only been using his upper body and his arm, and it's dead, man. He's
and
worn
teams
out.
figured that out, and so now he has no options. The short passes are being taken away. Teams see it on film. He can't push the ball downfield with any velocity or accuracy. So you move up and you condense everything, and then your run game is for shit, and it's terrible. We saw that late in Drew Brees' career when he couldn't push the ball down the field. Yeah. Teams pick up on it, and it matters. And now you got maybe the best deep thrower in the game, in Michael Penix. I mean, he's Bruce Arians said when he was coming out, if you watched any of his college tape, you saw it. I mean, go ask Jalen McMillan about Michael Penix's deep ball. It's as good as I've seen in college.
Yeah,
maybe since Joe Burrow. Better, I think it's better than Joe Burrow. He throws it with an arc and an anticipation that is just so good. And he can transform that offense immediately. And from what I've heard from my Atlanta people, and we'll try to get Archer on the show tomorrow. Mm-hmm. He's been doing it in practice. So I think they hit the ground running, especially against the Giants. But again, too little, too late.
You know who he looks like throwing the ball to me? I'm going back a little ways. Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, nice arc on the ball.
And just
you know what I say? Who? In the same side, the snake. He reminds me of Kenny Stabler. Yeah, Kenny. God, he had that great 3/4 delivery.
That's a lefty too. Yeah, that's a good comparison. You know what? I hate left-handed quarterbacks.
Why?
It looks awkward to me. Have you ever caught a pass from a left-handed quarterback? It's like learning how to catch all over again.
Yeah, it's got a different spin to it. Yeah, it's absolutely. There's an adjustment to it.
I
think it looks great. I think lefties can they look so graceful doing everything, pitching,
batting
hitting.
For sure. Yeah,
they do. Why do they look? And you know what I love? Like looking in. I love looking in the mirror. You can. If you look in the mirror, you become left-handed, right?
Right.
Back to you. So if you're watching ever a video, somebody was taking a video. We were playing golf one time and had the back camera on, right? And everything's turned around. So my swing was in the background, lefty. I was like, wow. That looks so good. My swing looks so good. Why do lefties look so smooth? I don't know what it is.
Look, there's been a lot of good left-handed quarterbacks in the NFL. Steve Young, Michael Vick, Kenny Stabler, Tim Tebow, Mark Brunell, Matt Leinart, Marinovich. I mean, Chris Sims. Just name a bunch of them, dude. But man, it's for me. It is hard.
Those guys weren't so good, by the way. Yeah.
Well, that's.
They still look good. They look marvelous.
Todd
so
Marinovich.
Anyway, listen. I think for the Bucs, just keep doing what you're doing. Now, I said this before the Chargers game. I thought that they would stumble on the way in because their defense has been so inconsistent. No, it hasn't been inconsistent. I guess it has been inconsistent because it's been really good the last month against bad teams and bad quarterbacks. But the Chargers are not that, and they made them look really pedestrian in the second half. Maybe that was because their quarterback was on one leg, whatever, don't care. The numbers are what they are. They're the number one scoring defense the last month and number 3 in scoring offense. So look, the Bucs just need to stay focused and take care of the teams. The Cowboys run defense is deplorable. They should, Bucky Irving should have a big day. Rashad White should have a big day. They should control the game with the ground game and then use their explosives. The Bucs are playing great football right now, and they're gonna hopefully get a little bit healthier here down the stretch with Antoine Winfield coming back. Maybe Mike Edwards comes back, and we were told what a huge part of the defense he can be. So yeah, I'm like, they're in a good spot. They're in a really good spot.
Let me give Liam Cohen the best advice I can possibly give Liam Cohen going into Sunday night.
What's that?
Wherever Micah Parsons lines up, run the other way. There you go. DeMarvion Overshone's out for the year, so he doesn't have the safety valve on the other side like he did. So wherever Micah Parsons lines up,
just run the other way.
Run the other way. It doesn't.
Is it not
matter
good running at him because he's not huge?
Oh, no,
I've heard that fast pass rushers hate being run at all game long. So, and will he line up over Tristan Wirfs every time, or does he just flip?
He'll move. He'll move
around.
And by the way, he moves at his discretion. This is not called by Mike Zimmer at KB1 on the left side. Micah Parsons goes where Micah Parsons wants to go on that particular play, and the rest of the defensive line accommodates him. So you don't know. He doesn't even know where he's going to line up. So just wherever it is, Baker, you might have to audible some of this. Just run the other way.
Yeah.
And do you realize now with Michael Penix playing, we have 5 of the top 6 rookie quarterbacks are now starting for their respective teams.
How about that?
Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Drake May, Michael Penix, and the only one that's not, J.J. McCarthy, because he's hurt.
And now what do they do at quarterback? And he played well, obviously, before he got hurt. And then, they got decisions to make. No question about it.
How you don't retain Sam Darnold in Minnesota.
Yeah, but McCarthy looks good too.
He does. But look, I'm not afraid of the Michael Penix thing. You and I discussed this yesterday for a little bit. You cannot ask a rookie quarterback to come in and fix your offense. And that offense is broken beyond Kirk Cousins. There are other things wrong with that offense.
Yeah, but who do they play down the stretch? I think they got the Giants this week, and then I think they finished with the Saints and Panthers as well, right? Just the opposite weeks.
They have to finish the season. Giants, Commanders, Panthers.
Giants, Commanders. I forgot the Commanders. Yeah. See, that Commanders game,
and it's
at Washington. Be a tough game
for
them, and that's at Washington. Probably going to be a cold weather game, right? And the Falcons play inside mostly.
Yeah.
So I think
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Panthers beat them either on January 5th.
Okay, so
it's in Carolina.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here saying that Penix they're gonna run the table with him. I'm just thinking that they could, but I don't think they will. I think they got more issues than just quarterback. I would agree with you, but it's regardless. Take care of your business, Bucs. Take care of your business, and that's all. That really matters.
This is a desperation move by Atlanta. There's no question, right? They're 3 games left. You're behind the Bucs, and your only hope is to catch the Bucs, and
right.
And you're not going to, unless the Bucs lose all 3 games, and even then, it's just I don't know. It's a desperation move, and it's to me it's a little laughable to do it right now with 3 games left. I don't know.
I was looking to see if we got any updates on people practicing today.
By the way, the Buffalo Bills, in case you didn't see this, if they score 30 points this weekend, they can be the first team in the history of the NFL to score 30 points in 9 straight games in the same season.
Yeah, the Bills are ridiculous. And the numbers that Josh Allen is putting up, 2 touchdowns running and 2 touchdowns passing. He's the first one to do it in like 4 straight games. Mm-hmm. He's just far and away the NFL MVP without question.
And I've knocked him his whole career. I've always thought he was good, right? I never thought he was a top-tier quarterback. To me, he was the white Dak Prescott. Okay, a ton of turnovers, bad decisions, probably ran too much. But, dude, this season he has turned all of that around. 25 touchdowns, 5 picks. He is doing everything right at the right time.
What do you think the difference is?
Man, I wish I knew. It's not their offensive coordinator, right? Because he's been there. He was there last year.
I think he came in last year, but also no Stephon Diggs.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, see. He doesn't have
sometimes
Stephon Diggs chirping in his ear.
Exactly. Sometimes
Ask
addition
Kirk
by
Cousins how that sounds.
by subtraction. Yeah. And that, it's a more team, and they got the running game is better. So more balance, more Baker Mayfield like.
Yeah.
So,
but man, MVP candidate, dude. He might. Man, I don't know. I don't know.
Who, Josh?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. It's done. It's done. It's over. Unless Baker throws, 30 touchdown passes the rest of the way. I don't know. I mean, who else is even?
Lamar's having another good season. Lamar's having a good season. Who else do you throw out there? There's nobody's really standing out, right?
Barkley. I mean, Saquon's had a tremendous year, although he's tailed off the last couple of weeks. I don't know if he's
not going to break. He ain't going to break Dickerson's record. He's not going to get there now.
Yeah, he's been a little bit more pedestrian. I need him this week though in my fans. I'm in the championship game against my good friend Kevin Keever, who I saw last night, former USF basketball player.
Yeah.
We got two wagons going at it this week for the championship game. He's got Josh Allen, and I'm starting Baker this week, so I need him to have a big week over this crappy Cowboys defense. Come on, Baker, let's go.
Watch the Cowboys. Cowboys are going to shut him out.
Stop.
I mean, that would be a very Cowboys thing to do and a very Bucs thing to do, man. You know it.
No, please.
Hey, I'm pulling for the Bucs, okay? Because my Cowboys ain't going to the playoffs, so I'm pulling for Bucs the rest of the way, including through the playoffs. So I'm cheering. We can't cheer in the press box, but if I can get in the press box, I might have a Bucs hat on when I'm there.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So last night at Emily Arena, joyous night there. So I get there to my station, and what is waiting for me on my beautiful anchor desk there?
Oh no!
The dreaded elf costume.
Oh no!
That I wore last year.
Did you have to elf it up?
I said no. Said I'm not doing it. I've had enough.
Oh no! You didn't even wear a hat?
No. I had my new blue blazer, the real festive one. I love a lot of compliments on. And I said, I'm going to cover up this beauty with that elf costume. Wow. For once, I'm just not going to be a team player.
What'd your producer say to that?
They weren't happy. They weren't happy. Got a couple side eyes, ain't gonna lie.
Wow.
I just wasn't mentally prepared for it. They kind of
sprung it on you?
Just sprung it on me, and I just wasn't mentally prepared. So I'm going to work up to it on Thursday. So we still have our holiday motif going for the next couple games before Christmas. So I got to just mentally kind of work into it because I took a lot of abuse last year, and rightfully so. Grown-ass man should not be wearing that.
Something I noticed in the box score last night, looking at the Lightning Blue Jackets game, was their attendance. It's a Tuesday night game.
Uh-huh.
And they had over 19,000 people at Amalie on a Tuesday night game. Are you trying to tell me that the Lightning average more at home than the Rays do every year?
Oh, my God. It's not even close.
That is amazing.
Not even close. Think it has something to do with the owner?
Maybe.
You think it has something to do with where the arena is?
Yeah, definitely.
You think it has something to do with what the arena looks like and how they treat their fans?
Like, who in Tampa can drive all the way to the Trop for a midweek game that first pitch 7:05 or whatever? Like, who can get there from Tampa, first of all, in time after work, right?
No, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
This just in, breaking news. It's all the stuff that we talk about the stadium, like recently. And the one thing we never even talk about is the fact that is the most damning thing about the whole damn deal. You're building in a failed location. It's already proven to be a shit location. And not only is the deal horrible, it's a bad idea. And we don't even talk about that anymore. We talk about how ridiculously expensive it is, how horrible a deal it is, and how bad the owner. All that stuff is over the most important thing of the whole thing. It's a horrible idea. It doesn't work. It's proven. And we're still going to do this. Don't get me going.
Already got you going.
The Bolts last night, after I failed to inspire them with my elf outfit,
costume.
Buddy the Elf. They broke out to a 4-0 lead. And Nick Paul owned the second period with 3 points, a goal and 2 assists. Nick Paul was fantastic.
He
last
barely
night,
missed one at the end of the first, right? He had a breakaway at the end of the first.
Yes, it could have been so much more.
Yeah.
Glendenning scores early on with a great redirect in front where he slaps the puck down. And that was a great shot, a redirect. And weirdest stat of the day from our folks at FanDuel Sports Network, the Bolts are 11-0 when Luke Glendenning scores, going back to last year, because he didn't score much. They're 11-0 when he scores. Wow. Weird. So the game was over as soon as he scored. And so they're up 4-0. And, Vasi we have a great ceremony before the game celebrating his 500th, gets all the prizes, gets all the stuff. It's fantastic. And he's playing his ass off. And, we're on our way to a shutout on Vasi night. And then, oh, no. Just a turnover, shorty, 4-1. Then another turnover, as Coop said last night. We're trying to get the 5th goal. We don't need the 5th goal, boys. Don't need a 5th goal. We just need not to have a second goal. And they give up a 3-on-1 the other way. Now we're 4-2. And we take another penalty. Cole Sillinger from the slot. Now it's 4-3. And there's 8 minutes left. Well, I'm like, oh, Jesus, what the hell just happened? And luckily, they withstood the storm from there. Pointer gets an empty netter, and the Bolts win 5-3 and get their 2 points. But, not a little bit of long road trip, go 3-1, doing great. That's fantastic. You come back home, that first game's always the bitch, right? It's always the bitch. It's always a letdown game. So the letdown didn't come until the third period, but you found a way to win, and that's what matters. And you're 2 points now, so that now you're 4 points behind Toronto with 2 games in hand, 4 points behind the Panthers with 3 games in hand. And you got a home and home against the Panthers this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So tell us a lot about what's going on with the Lightning. 2 really good teams. But all the metrics, everything, now you're getting scoring. Chafee scored last night. You're getting balanced scoring. Hedman was back. You're getting a little healthier. J.J. Moser, I have no idea when he's going to be back. Maybe it might be a couple weeks. We'll see. But everything about the Lightning's game right now, you just absolutely love. They're playing fantastic hockey.
We talked to Brian Bradley yesterday. He was at Morning Skate right here on the JP Peterson show. It's always good to have Brian on too, man. That guy's just a wealth of freaking knowledge. And I told him, I said, the Jackets aren't a good team unless they score 3 or more goals. And I think their record yesterday coming into the game was 11-3-3 where they score 3 or more. I said, you got to keep them under 3. Well, I mean, if you score 5, then the 3 is not going to hurt you. So you beat the odds a little bit. You had a fast start. Nick Paul was a goon yesterday, and that's all you needed. You get the win. And they're horrible on the road, by the way. The Lightning or the Jackets, I think, have 4 wins all year on the road. So,
yeah, we got the Blues coming in on Thursday, who lost last night. They were 6-2-2 in their last 10. Then they lost last night to the Devils 4-1. But they'll be coming in on
right
Tuesday.
Now,
yeah, since their coaching change, they've really turned it around. So they're kind of a new club, and they'll be wanting to measure themselves against the Lightning on Thursday night. So that should be a good one. Please join us. Plenty of good seats available there. Yeah, even the 19,000, a lot of that's tickets sold, and we have such a huge season ticket base. You're a sellout just almost every game. Yeah. There've been some empty seats. You can get tickets on the secondary market, even from the Lightning. Actually, go to TampaBayLightning.com. Plenty of tickets available. But it's a great show. It's always a great show. I was talking to some of the season ticket holders last night and just, saying what a great job. We're talking about everybody asked me, what's going on with the Rays? What's going on with the Rays? Yeah. And then it's like, let's talk about the Lightning and what they do right. And it's always been one of my arguments is like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's the greatest template in Tampa Bay history. Yeah. A sport that nobody played growing up, generationally. I mean, obviously this last generation does play hockey because the Lightning have made it the thing to do in Tampa Bay. But I mean, everybody grew up playing baseball and we, couldn't quote support the team. It's not about that. But the Lightning did it, community involvement, the community hero initiative has been such a huge way of bonding with the community. It was brilliantly done by Jeffrey Vinnick. And I've told this story many times, but we got a lot of new viewers today. So this just kind of wraps the whole thing up. This was back when Vinnick first bought the team. He's a couple of years in and he's doing the community hero thing. And I was having a lunch with Matt Silverman at the time. And, he was trying to get me to, stop calling Stu a liar. And I said, well, tell Stu to stop lying. And I said, just stop blaming the fans. I mean, you should partner with the fans, partner with the community. He hasn't, I was trying to explain to him, he hasn't, I said, look at Jeffrey Vinnick. This community hero thing is taking off like wildfire. He's giving away $50,000 every game. I mean, people are talking about this. It's really a big deal. And he's connecting with the community. And they have this great community outreach thing where they're sending players out to all the schools, every elementary school, every kid gets a hockey stick in his hand. It's like, this is crazy what they're doing over here. You should really kind of embrace this template. And they're in Tampa, and they have a great arena, and they're just really fan friendly and just zeroed in on the fans. And he said about the community hero thing. He goes, let's see how long that lasts. Giving away that $50,000. Let's see how long it lasts. He said, saying that the community just doesn't support us like they do him. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's because of your owner, probably. It's because of the way you guys run stuff. And so
there you go.
How's it going 14 years later? $60 million, 509, whatever it is, community heroes. It's literally the best thing I've ever seen in sports in terms of connecting with your fan base and turning it around. And look what they've had, 400 sellouts in a row. And spent the money, the players, 2 Stanley Cups. Everything flows from that. Everything flows from your community support. Tony Dungy told his players that in their first meeting. They all went, what? Yeah. And then they went and won a Super Bowl, at that group. So, yeah. Awesome. All right, we'll wrap it up with that. We're going to get out a little early today. Have some other business work to do. We thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, if you ever miss anything, the FanStream Sports app is a great way to download that app. You won't miss anything in the show. Listen to it anytime. You can also obviously go to our YouTube, Facebook pages, all our social medias. Please like and subscribe. We need more subscribers on the YouTube page, so please do that as well. And our new Twitter at the JP Peterson Show. Have a great day, everybody. The Wicked Witch is dead. Long live the Rays in Tampa Bay. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.